And we're live. All right, everybody. My name's Neil. I'm the lead here for Calgary at Startup TNT. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. It's Startup TNT week 178. For those that aren't aware, TNT stands for Thursday Night Tradition. So that means for 178 weeks in a row, we've been getting together, whether that be at a small happy hour or a large, awesome event like this, and building community and having fun, making friends and building companies. It's our 5th local investment summit here in Calgary. 2020 in the fall was the first one. And since then, we've raised over $2 million for 13 amazing Calgary startups. And we're excited to do more than that here in the fall. So joining me tonight here is the amazing Danielle Gifford. I'll let Danielle introduce herself because I won't do it justice.
All right. Thank you so much, Neil. It's great to see everyone out tonight. Maybe we can give a big round of applause for everyone. I remember, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago when Zach came to me with this crazy idea for the Great Alberta Pitch Marathon. And look at where we are today and the work that we're doing. So really excited. As Neil mentioned, my name is Danielle. I am an executive director with Movement 51 and the 51. The 51 is a venture capital firm that's focused on investing in women-led companies. We've activated about $18 million in capital to date, and we've invested in 40 companies. And so really excited for today. Yeah, very exciting. Really excited for today. So I'll hand it over to Neil to do some of the intro.
All right. I just need the slide to click over. There we go. All right. So TNT all started with a few friends getting together, having drinks and sharing stories. And now every Thursday we gather. Whether we create companies or just discuss ideas, we share stories, we hear stories, and we discuss stories. Storytelling is an integral part of Startup TNT and a big part of the tech community. We also are connected through the one land that we all share under our feet, a land that's carried many peoples before us. So tonight we honor those elders whose stories this land carries, and we acknowledge this is the land of the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina and Nakota Nations, the Métis Nations, Region 3, and all the people who make their home in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. Tonight we honor their mission to gather community and to share stories. I'll get the hang of this here soon, I think. Founders, I'm doing this so that you don't have to do it in your pitch. All right. Let's review our impact. So I'm not going to read this whole slide because there's a lot of really cool stats, and the logo field, as you can see, is really impressive. Our first investment summit was in the middle of 2020. Since then, across Alberta and Saskatchewan, we've helped local angel investors raise over $7 million for 50 companies in Alberta and Saskatchewan, 50. And this fall, we're super excited to be holding our first Manitoba summit. So we're adding them into the mix. They're probably in the middle of their top 20 pitch night. Yeah, so look at the sheer variety of companies behind me. We got all the techs. We got fintech, clean tech, all the techs, which is a good showcase of the fact that we are building a ton of cool companies across a variety of disciplines right here in our own backyards. And here's some stats you aren't going to see on the sheet behind us. 28 of these 50 companies are pre-revenue. 24 of them have a hardware component. 14 of these companies are spin-offs from post-secondary institutions or develop their tech in conjunction with a local post-secondary institution. 11 of these 50 companies have BIPOC founders or co-founders, and 24 of the 50 companies have women co-founders or founders. We're making a difference in the prairies, and it takes a ton of work. Oh, man. So the up button goes backwards, founders, just when you get up here. The down button advances the slides. And it's probably because I'm holding it upside down. All right. So how did we get here? We got here with a ton of support. So support from the community, amazing people like yourselves. We have had people that have been supporting us since we first started. Yeah, and it's a ton of work. All of our partners work with us. They become part of the team. They help promote the summits. They help founders outside of what we do. They help recruit and promote the events. And yeah, you can see that there's a ton of great companies here. We got our BFFs. They've been with us since the beginning, since we were just a bunch of volunteers trying to raise investment for startups and trying to drive interest in the tech ecosystem. People like John at CBRE, who's not able to make it here tonight. has been a big supporter of us doing his day job, helping founders find commercial real estate. And at night, he's investing with us as he's done in every Calgary Summit. And then we have our core funding partners who recently recognized the fact that we're making an impact and have been immensely supportive and allowing us to do this full time. So we're super grateful for all these people. And then in the community itself, we got amazing people like the Platform Calgary. Let's hear it for the amazing place that we're sitting in tonight. Yeah, so generally, I'm just super grateful for the community support. You guys are a big part of it. Our investors have done an amazing job of supporting us and supporting these founders. Everybody's passionate, everybody's having fun, and I love it. So with that, I'm gonna let Danielle talk for a little bit. I'm gonna give you the clicker too.
Uh-oh, he's giving me the clicker. Where do I point it? Oh, up. Then go back and go up. Guys, you're gonna see all the fun. All right. Why invest in startups? They're the dreamers and they're the doers. They're the people that are waking up every day and they're risking it. I was having a conversation a little bit earlier with a couple of folks, and we were just talking about the weird existence of a startup founder and what it's like. It's the highs and it's the lows. It's the emails, and then it's also the successful pitches. And so we're really excited to be here today to just talk about all of the exciting tech that's happening here in the ecosystem. Okay, so how does it work? Every angel investor puts up $5,000 first. So let that just sink in. $5,000 first before they've even seen any of the companies. And they're doing this because they believe in the A-class talent that we have here. What they do then is they perform due diligence as a group. So they're going through all of the different companies, going into the data rooms, trying to figure out which ones that they want to invest in. And then from there, there's an investment decision that happens on November 17th, where they democratically decide which company to invest in. So just think about that whole entire process and how everything works. And this is just kind of the second before we get to the final. All right, I'll get this one time, I promise. Okay, so how does it work? We have 130 applicants that had applied for Startup TNT Pitch Night across all of the different provinces. We have 95 different investors, which is really exciting. And we have 4 streams. And so tonight we have a crowd, I believe, of about 200. I'm only allowed to say a certain number because, you know, fire restrictions. But this is just one of many epic nights. So really, really excited to have everyone here in the crowd. So some general housekeeping. This is the fun part. We have lots of people here, loving the energy, feeling the good vibes. But remember to please be respectful. Be respectful to the founders. It's really, like I can tell you, it's a little nerve-wracking up here. So when you're pitching your company, I can expect that would be the same. So be respectful to the founders, be respectful to the staff, and be respectful to the teams. That's really, really important. The other thing too is, now that we all kind of have our seatbelts on, the bathrooms are going to be on your left and right at the back. I promise this plane's going to land on time. And then, just in case any of these pitches take your breath away, we do have a defibrillator, which is on the second floor over there. Oh, and one down there too. We have 2 just in case. So the way that it works is we have 20 incredible startups presenting today. There's 3 minutes for the pitch, and then there's 2-minute Q&A. And so the pitch and then the Q&A are facilitated by some of our investors and some of our community members, which we'll also be introducing. And then what we want you to do is think about how might you be able to help the companies that are on stage today? Is there a potential customer that you might know? Is there a potential resource? Are you an expert in that field? All of this helps. And this is what helps, you know, advance the amazing companies that we have here in Calgary. And last but not least, let's cheer on the presenters. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, lots of cheers. I get nervous up here, and I know there's a ton of other founders that are pitching for the first time. So let's use big words, big sounds, big claps, and support them.
And because it's a public event, we are taking some pictures and doing some video. So make sure you keep those frowns upside down. Look at, I'm seeing some smiles. I'm seeing some smiles because there's going to be some pictures happening tonight. All right. All right. Almost got it. So let's start with the pitches. First up, we're going to introduce Ron from Health Cities. And then we're going to also have Adrian with Startup TNT. And so this is actually Adrian's first week, and he is the head of partnerships. So he's going to be doing the Q&A. So over to Ron and Adrian.
Wow, that's a great crowd. Well done, TNT. That's an awesome looking crowd. I think that's probably about 199 people in the room here today. So welcome to the TNT kickoff tonight. I'm from Health Cities. My first name is Ron. The last name is Saladicki. I'm a senior advisor with Health Cities. I get the question quite often, what does Health Cities do? I'll try to explain that in less than 1 minute. So we're a not-for-profit, nationally organized company from Edmonton, but I actually reside here in Calgary. And we work with clinicians, startups, academics, public policy people, anybody who will come into the big tent with us to try to drive innovation into the healthcare system, to drive better healthcare outcomes, and drive down cost of care as well. So I've made this pitch a few times now at TNT, and by the time we get to the beer later on, people come up to me and say, what exactly were you talking about when you said what Health Cities does? So I thought I'd give a couple of examples. So during the pandemic, we worked with a number of primary care networks in the province here to look at home health monitoring technologies, right? So again, people aging in place is becoming quite a thing after the pandemic. So we worked with technology companies to try to drive some technologies that could help people with chronic diseases manage their care remotely with their doctors. So that's something we did in 2020. We also worked with a company up in Edmonton called MedOAI. They have a AI-enabled ultrasound device that can be used remotely. So we worked with them to have them test and trial their technology with remote First Nations populations. That actually allowed them to get enough data to get an FDA approval. And actually, at this point in time, they've actually been bought out by a larger company after that. And most recently here in Calgary, we're working with the Brenda Stratford Foundation, setting up a health tech condo, which again is an idea of helping people age in place, reducing the burden on the healthcare system, and using technology to leverage the ability for people to age in place and not move along into the healthcare system. So hopefully that's a few examples of what Health Cities does. And with that, I'm around for the rest of the evening, or you can go to healthcities.ca and take a look. There's white papers on all the things we've done there as well. So with that, I'm very privileged to announce and kick off the evening with the first presenter, which comes from the company Pedesting. I would like to welcome to the stage Aaron Shilladay.
The mic. That's it. That? Hi, I'm Aaron, and this is Nabil up there. We're the co-founders of Pedesting. We are the same person. We enjoy a good steak, love a warm sweater, really like taking in a great hockey game. We're the same person until we hit a staircase. That's when Nabil's trip is over. Nabil has a disability, has used a wheelchair his entire life. That's why he's up there and I'm down here, that stair. There's a mismatch between the built environment and people with disabilities. Navigation apps focus on cars and roads. There's no real information about the pedestrian environment. A trip is foiled by a stair. This is a common problem for Nabil and millions of Canadians like him. So we see Pedesting as a three-sided marketplace: people, businesses, and government. Our core customer is the disabled pedestrian. You can see this is a large number in Canada, but there are hundreds of thousands of commercial buildings in Canada, 100 major universities, and there's over 50 cities with a population over 100,000. These are huge markets, all of them. So think of the Waze app, but for pedestrians. Pedesting provides navigation from your home to your destination. Pedesting even goes indoors. We collect detailed data for our base maps to identify barriers, such as stairs. Our platform analyzes the data and it guides our user to accessible route. It will avoid barriers and instead lead the user to ramps, elevators, power door openers, and accessible washers. Other details can be added by users, such as real-time updates of construction closures or snow removal efforts. This is key info for a person with a disability when it's 30 below. In fact, all of us can benefit. So why now? Because there's talent, innovation, and leadership in the disabled community. There are more people than ever are choosing to live in the urban cores, and we can help all pedestrians navigate around. And because we leverage digital information for routing, this data is also crucial for pedestrian modeling, a completely new science and art. Pedesting can make city living better, especially for people with a mobility challenge. Our prototype is our proof of concept. We've alpha tested the software. We've showcased the solution to a variety of audiences: the city, the real estate community, the tech community, and the disabled community. We've taken their feedback, we've added features, new capabilities, and we're on to version 2. So we use a subscription model for our B2B customers. We have data for about 25% of the buildings connected to our plus 15. Letters of intent, are underway, and we're encouraged by this private sector support. They've given us CAD files. We have about 40 buildings ready to go, and they see that an enhanced pedestrian experience is just good for business, period. We're currently working with several universities and other cities to add their assets to our platform. We're in great partnerships with amazing companies in the world of mapping, software, pedestrian modeling, and of course, accessibility. And our team has expertise that complements navigation, architecture, software engineering, community building, and of course, accessibility. So rather than illustrate what we will do with the proceeds, we want to show the milestones of the investment we'll deliver. The number of users in our community, the B2B annual recurring revenue, we'll have about 70% of the core on our app in no time, and we'll expand to new cities to put them on our platform. So thank you. We hope you enjoyed this intro to disability and the pedestrian navigation. And you know what? Nabil and I are the same person, and we should have the ability to get anywhere together all the time. And in fact, I'll tell you right now, if the stats of people with disabilities were being represented right here, right now, with 200 people, there'd be about 30 people in a wheelchair or with a disability surrounding us. So there is something wrong, and we're going to fix it. Thank you.
Hi. Thanks a lot. That was great. Love what you guys are doing. And I have a background in the mapping space, so I really appreciate some of the technical challenges you've got in front of you. So, looking through what you're doing, talk about the Calgary pilot a little bit, because the Calgary pilot that you guys have going on.
Sure.
Do you want to tell me? So I know you guys have mapped the library across the street. Is the city looking to partner with you in a bigger way?
Yes, absolutely. The mayor sent her senior advisor to one of our presentations. First person to come up to me said, "How can we help?" So we've got a long list. We found the private sector a lot more engaging, I'll have to tell you. There's not, the city doesn't want to bet on a winner. So when we went to them and said, we want to map the plus 15, they wanted to do an RFP. Not interested. So it gives you an idea. There's some challenges, but they've got lots of data that we want. We'll be collecting lots of data that they'll need. So I think we'll work it out.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess next, when you look around at a room like this, we obviously have investors here, but other than investment, if there was one thing you thought you might be able to get from a crowd like this, what is like a challenge or someone you're looking for that might be able to open a door or help you?
That's a great question, because Nabil and I are sort of acolytes of a gentleman named Rick Hansen, who has spent about 30 years raising awareness. He's a great friend. So anybody out there, there's a stat that about 50% of us know someone or have someone in our family with a disability. So we're about collecting data. Crowdsourcing is a big part of that. So we'd love, Nabil and I talk about having a pedesting day, sort of like a Jane's walk. We all go out and start taking pictures of ramps or barriers or anything that they think will help. That would be one thing I could think of right now.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Great pitch, great pitch. So next up from Bodiometer is Javid Sadeki. Javid?
Hello, everyone. My name is Javad. I am the CEO and co-founder of Bodiometer. We provide computer vision solutions to automatically measure and track biomechanical data. I am sure most of us here at some point have suffered from lower back pain, neck pain, or other type of musculoskeletal conditions and could relate to either of these two pictures. In fact, in Canada and US, it costs almost $100 billion each year, and most of these musculoskeletal conditions are preventable. Actually, Bodiometer has a solution to help with that. Our solution is mainly geared toward providing a better representation and understanding of your visual presence. And when you become a patient, it enables you to maximize the provision of the patient care by extending the long-term value of that and minimizing the chance of premature drop-off from care. So we have a solution that is allowing clinicians to do advanced range of motion, posture, and functional testing in clinics. We also ported that to the mobile devices. And also for consumers, we have a solution that enables measuring their pain, posture, and function on mobile devices at home. Around these two core technologies, we have built a patient engagement platform that enables clinicians to track the patient's progress and engagement throughout the entire patient journey. And in this way, we bridge the current gap in between patient and practitioner interactions in between treatment visits. One of the unique things about our platform is the advanced machine learning algorithms that we have developed over the past few years to predict the future stage of someone's pain, function, and posture based on the previous visits. And in this way, we enable clinicians to make an informed decision about the best discharge time. We sell our solution to clinics in exchange of a monthly subscription right now, but we have plans to sell to corporate wellness and consumers and eventually insurance providers. Our team has diverse skill sets. We are graduates of the University of Calgary and have in-house data scientists, in-house physical therapy specialists, and kinesiologists. And we have launched this platform throughout the digital YYC Digital Healthcare Accelerator, signed up 10 paid pilots, gathered more than 50,000 patient records, and used that to establish our standardized assessment and treatment protocol, which is now being utilized by all the graduates of the largest chiropractic college in US. We earlier this year got vetted by the Ontario Bioscience Innovations Early Adopter Health Network as one of the two companies from Alberta to be able to sell as a streamlined procurement to the Ontario hospitals, and recently got accepted into the Creative Destruction Lab Health and Wellness stream to capitalize on a new reimbursement code that we found through Medicare called remote therapeutic monitoring. Now that we have found a direct selling solution to sell to the insurance in the US, we are looking to raise our seed round of fund to go to market and position Bodiometer as the new standard of care, reduce lots of musculoskeletal pain, and help improve quality of life of millions of people. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, I'll stand on this side this time. I can see the time here this way. Okay, great presentation. Thank you very much. Great to see you again. So I think, could you expand a little bit on the early adopter hospital network partnership you've got out of Ontario?
Sure. We have been able to find pilots in individual clinics, but the way that these hospitals work is much different. So we have been focusing on the geriatric population. It's a very large hospital with two separate locations. And this program connects a startup which looks for a validation to the right healthcare provider. So in that way, it took probably 6 months right now to even get to the point that we can start the project and pilot. And after that, it's a year and a half for the project. It's a year for the actual validation, another year and a half for the procurement. So in that way, we can have a shield to be able to the point that we can sell to more hospitals.
Okay, great. I think we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saved. So next on the stage from the company Fledge, Jenna Galloway.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm the founder and CEO of Fledge. And at Fledge, we believe that every child deserves the opportunity to get the mental health skills that they deserve to build their capacity to live a great life. Everyone experiences mental health, including myself. And in my third year of pre-med, I actually had to drop out because I was struggling so much. So over the next 10 years, I started to learn the tools and skills that I needed to build myself up. And it made me wonder why I hadn't had those skills from a young age. It inspired me to build a youth wellness and education studio, and we've been very successful at the local level, but now we want to scale and amplify our impact using technology. And so I've built an incredible team who's going to help me tackle this problem. Sorry. Earlier this year, mental health was declared the second largest threat to childhood development. But not only are kids struggling, the people who support them are really struggling too. Parents and educators are burnt out from trying to find solutions which are time-consuming, and they're not always customizable for the individual. I'm so sorry. Our solution is Fledge, the first online platform to gamify mental health so that every child will have a chance to thrive. How it works is it can be used in schools or at home. It's a web-based application, and children can experience building their own virtual world while they practice activities that build their social emotional competency. Think Minecraft, but for mental health. And the best part is that teachers are able to then share this with parents so that they can practice at home. Our activities on the platform are validated, it's very simple to use, and it's customizable to each individual child. That gives us a great competitive advantage, but what makes us truly unique is our data-driven optimization. Our platform actually learns from user engagement so that it can recommend activities that are for specific health outcomes. The global edtech market is huge and is valued at $127 billion. Parents and educators are quickly looking for the best educational solutions in technology to support their children's development. And the government has also committed $87 million to children's mental health, which proves this is a problem. We sell directly to schools, but also have a revenue subscription model for individuals. And our underlying technology is unique due to the nature of the data we collect. Privacy and protecting this data of the children is our biggest concern. We're launching paid pilot programs in January, followed by a Canadian launch in March, and we'll expand into the States later on in the year. We require $500,000 in funding to get there, and I hope that you'd like to join me in building the future of education and wellness for youth. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jenna. That was awesome. So I have some knowledge and history in health tech. So can you tell me, how are apps really changing the game in mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of existing solutions that diagnose or kind of outsource solutions, but come forward, sorry. We're actually taking a unique approach because we want to go upstream and start with kids who are really young so that we build their capacity from an early age.
Okay, thanks. How are we doing here? Okay, we got another minute. Okay, so I have 3 kids and they love apps. When I saw your traction numbers, I was really impressed. You've got something like, maybe you want to tell, I think you took the traction slide out. Maybe you want to tell people about your adoption and how you guys are doing on traction wise.
Absolutely. So for our studio, we have 5,000 existing clients, and we've also trained over 800 educators in North America. We're currently testing with 30 early adopters, and then we'll be testing with schools in Alberta this January.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, I think that's about all of the time we have.
Very well done. Next on the stage is my pleasure to introduce from Nimble Science, Sabina Bruelman.
Hello, Sabina, CEO for Nimble Science. This is an opportunity to transform the way personalized health is developed and delivered. The gut microbiome, we are constantly learning about the critical role it's playing in nearly every aspect of our health. And we're investing billions in it. But the truth is that everything we've learned to date has pretty much been on stool, and stool, poop, is a poor proxy for the material from the small intestine, which is actually out of reach. The only way we can reach the fluid from the small intestine is through endoscopy, which is invasive and painful. Therefore, our solution starts with a fluid biopsy device that will collect fluid directly from the small intestine as easy as a blood test in the patient's home. We use this to build cohort-specific data sets that will then drive novel diagnostic solutions. Nimble's Simba capsule is a small vitamin-sized pill that transits your gastrointestinal tract passively and collects that biopsy directly from the small intestine without electronics or batteries. And the sample we're collecting is comparable to an endoscopy. To ready it for broad scale use, we've packaged it in a full end-to-end platform, including mail order and delivery, and a patient-facing app that simplifies its use. Think of it as the 23andMe for your gut. We've readied the platform for a broad scale of customers, including that 23andMe data play. But right now we're focused on therapeutic developers that are going to help us drive these diagnostic solutions. So let me show you how. The platform is being used to collect cohort-specific data that is going to drive the diagnostic development and then be delivered on this very same platform. But in the same time, we're offering the platform to therapeutic developers, biologics, drugs, to solve their problem. This is giving us early revenue, but most importantly, it's putting us center stage to identifying the most compelling diagnostic opportunities in this exploding space that we then put into our diagnostic pipeline. This early growth, this early revenue is therefore also driving future growth. First in IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, but then in the next indication and the next indication and the next. We've priced it with field tested pricing that's also in our first customer contracts. It's an order of magnitude less than endoscopy and about the same price as stool and breath testing. The device is ready, manufacturing, clinical validation, regulatory, and the company is ISO 1345 certified to the medical device standard. We're a strong and experienced medtech team, myself with over 20 years of early stage medical technology commercialization, my partner Joseph with deep technical expertise in ingestibles. And most importantly, we're surrounded by a strong group of partners that are ready and knocking on our door in a multitude of segments. Gut health is the next frontier in personal health innovation, and we are the missing piece. We're raising $2.5 million to product launch. Join us.
Thank you very much, Sabina. So I think you went in a little bit. You say you guys are doing some research work to for helping people validate some of their research questions. Is that right?
Well, like the therapeutic developers around the world that are like the microbioticas and the big drug companies, their drugs are acting in the small intestine, but they don't know what they're doing there. So they want data sets to understand how to develop their drugs better. But those same data sets that are stratifying their patients, they're going to need companion diagnostics to be sold with those therapeutics to understand who should get that drug and who shouldn't, who should get that cancer therapy and who shouldn't, or Parkinson's or autism or whatever.
So is the vision long term that I could get take this about myself and bring it to my doctor and get some clinical suggestions or clinical therapy based on the results of the simple test? Is that the idea?
Yeah, you can get the test today if you go to our website and sign up for our clinical trials where you can participate and join the movement. But eventually, yes, the idea is that your doctor, as they prescribe you various therapies, they're going to want to know what your guts are ready in the same way that they don't give you cancer therapy before doing a blood test. We're over 50% microbiome. It's time to start measuring it as part of our personalized health approach in addition to blood.
Cool. Thank you very much.
All right, let's hear it for our first 4 founders. That was awesome and a great start to the evening. Okay, next up, our friends at Platform Calgary have Mina coming up to co-host. So I've got a couple interesting facts. I had to write them down because I didn't really believe them. So Mina's father-in-law once owned a monkey. That monkey was bought at a Kmart here in Calgary, and the monkey's name was Peter. So some interesting facts about Mina. And asking questions, we have Andrew with our friends from Thin Air Labs is going to be doing the Q&A for this portion. Mina, here you go.
Wonderful, thanks. True story, actually. Monkey named Peter from Kmart. I thought there would be more of a reaction, but that's okay. All right. So my name is Mina Demian. I'm one of the advisors here at Platform Calgary. Platform Calgary, if you don't know what it is, you're in it. Platform Calgary is a nonprofit member-based organization. Mandate is to bring together a resources of Calgary's tech ecosystem to help startups launch and grow at every steps of the journey, all the way from ideation into scale. Okay, so now I'm going to very quickly plug a new program that is just launched called the Incubator. So the Incubator empowers founders to move their startup experimentation stage to a process-driven business through coaching with entrepreneurs in residence and founder roundtable. So you'll gain access to perks, benefits, including a lot of expertise. Deadline is October 9th coming up. So if someone's interested out there, October 9th. More information on platformcalgary.com. And you can always try to find one of our lovely advisors. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce the first person from Mission X, Steve Krushelinski. Is it close? That's good.
You know, from the beginning, right from the beginning, we've been using and creating technology to improve our lives. Yeah, Jason, all right. You know, and companies that have innovated are companies that have conquered. All the way from how we communicate to how we work has changed drastically because of technology. But there's been some unintended consequences. And the unintended consequences, so at work now, at the work platforms, where they're forced to run their business on many applications that are siloed, antiquated, they're either oversimplified or they're overcomplicated. And the unintended consequences that we're seeing now is $37 billion. We're wasting 3 major assets. $37 billion are just wasted in unproductive meetings. There's trillions of dollars right now that are sitting in databases or file folders. And with the Great Resignation, we're losing Tanset knowledge that is gone faster than ever before. And the billions of dollars that we're currently spending in enterprise software isn't helping. It's actually making things worse. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We are in need of disruption. Introducing Mission X. Mission X is the most modern work management platform that allows companies to do many things in one place while computers and humans work together to resolve these issues. And there's something inside of Mission X for the whole company. So for the C-suite, I can now look at my strategic goals and know exactly where I'm at. Managers, instead of looking for data, compiling data, and presenting data, they have that data available. So now what they're doing is they're managing, leading, developing, growing, and making sure our projects are moving faster with more ease. And workers have one application to work in that's easy. So they're spending less time in an application inputting data. And what they're doing now is they're actually doing the work that they're hired for. And we scale. Whether you're a small organization or you're a big enterprise, Mission X can work for you guys. I want to talk about the competition. If you look at our features and benefits, we outperform the competition, and we're priced really competitive. We also have a leadership team that has proven themselves in imagining, building, and executing. Plus, we have an advisory board that is able to help and grow the business. So we got 2 asks for today. The first thing we're looking for is $250,000 in a safe to help with our marketing and our sales, execution right now. The second thing, which is more important, is if you guys are if you're working and you're happy with the way things are going in your organization's great. But if you think you can innovate and you can make things more efficient, I want to talk to you guys. Look me up at LinkedIn. I'd love to do a demo. The number one thing we get, the number one feedback I get from a demo is, wow, I didn't think that was possible. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing. Google, LinkedIn, and Amazon, they all own their space. Mission X, we're going to own work.
All right, give it up for Steve. Hey, Steve. So a couple quick questions. Talk a little bit about the sales strategy here. So you are going to disrupt enterprise software by pitching an enterprise software solution. How do you differentiate yourself and your product? And how do you get those first meetings to get the demo to get that wow factor?
Right. So everybody that I talk to knows the problem, and they're all pain. There's a pain point. So getting the first meeting isn't the really difficult thing. And we're just starting. So what we're looking for is the early adopters, but we're crossing the threshold right now. As we're continuing putting more and more people on the platform. So it's funny because the people I engaged last year are still talking to me and saying, "Hey, how's that thing going? Is it working? Can I see the AI? Can I see the ML? Like, what's going on?" And then when I show them what other companies are doing, it's just it will snowball. So it's not a matter if, but when.
So maybe one more quick question. Where are you at today with the product? Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? And how do you think this money and the ask from the audience is going to help you get there?
So the product's fully we're completed. Like it is, features are all done. We may have some tweaks in the, but we really just need marketing. So we've just started a really focused on our marketing campaign, and we're full out there selling. So all the money is going to go into marketing, and then hopefully hiring some more salespeople.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Steve. Everyone give it up for Steve from Mission X.
Hey, thanks to Steve for that. So everybody here should recognize that pitching's hard. And the monitor that Steve needed to use to watch his slides went down just before he started pitching. So he had an extra little handicap there. I think he did amazing. So I just want everybody to recognize Steve did a great job with that.
I'm going to look into that. Mission X sounds amazing. So next up, the brilliant, the talented, Steve Laidlaw.
Hi, again, my name is Steve Laidlaw. I'm CEO of Reserve Plus, and we are a company protecting condo owners and prospective buyers. So the problem, special assessments cause financial ruin. I'm going to start with a story about myself. In my late 20s, I bought a condo up in Bankview, and life was good. I was walking to work, had my downtown crew, we're hanging out, going for drinks. All of a sudden, I get hit with a special assessment, $80,000. I've just finished the last 5 years saving for the down payment on this condo, and now I've got to come up with $80,000. So I talked to the bank, I talked to my parents, and I managed to squeeze through barely. But I had 2 friends in the condo who actually walked their keys down to the bank and foreclosed because of this problem. That caused myself and my partner, Taylor Smith, to start looking into what the issue was. What caused that financial ruin for myself? And we found that the reserve fund study and the condo property manager who were supposed to be protecting me really weren't. The reserve fund study was old, out of date, antiquated. and the property manager just wasn't in the right space, and they themselves didn't have the data, the knowledge, the reporting that they needed in order to protect the condo owner. So we created a platform that does data analytics, forecasting, reporting, and scoring for the condominium. It's like a credit score for your condominium. So the accomplishments, we have over 400 condos now subscribing to our platform. That's 12,000 doors. We've grown at greater than 100% each of the last 3 years. And our trailing 12 months is $335,000, and we were profitable over that period of time. We have $650,000 secured under contracts, under subscription over the next 5 years. Our sales process is proven and well-defined. We have product market fit established, and we are ready to scale. As I mentioned, we grew 100% each of the last 3 years. Between 2019 and 2021, we grew 7 times in revenue and in subscriptions. And as you can see, we're on our way to approaching $1 million in secured revenue over the next 5 years. So the ask, we're currently raising $1 million. We have about $400,000 in non-dilutive funding that we have a pretty clear line of sight on. We've got a term sheet for a loan in place, and we are looking for an additional $450,000 in investment. This money will be put to work in the form of expanding our sales and ops teams, and we plan to grow another 5 times over the next 2 years. Thank you very much.
All right. Nice work. Great pitch. So quick question about your growth trajectory. So 2x or 100% growth over the next couple of years. A big portion of this is going to the product, big portion into sales. What does your sales team look like now versus in a year from now versus in 3 years from now?
Right now, it's just me whenever I get time for it. And we plan to hire two full-time salespeople and a sales administrator, and then 1 person to our ops team. And we believe that'll be enough to continue to scale here in Alberta and expand into BC and Ontario.
Awesome. Time for a couple of quick questions. So right now you have a niche product in a niche market. You can build a pretty big company in there because it's a pretty big market and it's relatively uncompetitive. How does it become a massive company? Is that your plan? Is that your objective? And how do you see yourself landing and expanding with current clients?
Absolutely. There's 65,000 condo corps across Canada. And what I guess our real advantage or our strategy for sales is it starts with the reserve fund study, which is regulated, established. I don't have to educate people on what a reserve fund study is. And it gets me a paid trial with the condo property manager who manages 1 to 500 condos. And then I can infiltrate that condo management company and in a single swing or a single sale, land 1 to 500 condos.
All right, last question. Is this like a user-driven thing too? Like, are you going after people that might have been hit with a special assessment and are going back into their next condo? Or how do you think you actually sell in?
It starts with the condo property manager and the condo board. They're the ones that are actively using it, actively managing the condo, making changes to protect those condo owners. But the scoring portion of it is then can be sold to prospective buyers. So realtors, prospective buyers. You know, I picture a person running down the elevator and logs on their phone and sees my credit score and decides whether they want to buy the condo or not.
Right on. All right, everyone, give it up for Steve. Thank you very much.
Nicely done. All right, next up, the very exciting, I can't wait to hear about this. Heard nothing but good things. LiveWeb with Trent Johnson.
Thank you. Danielle, I thought you were introducing me. First, thanks to the startup TNT guys. You're obviously a smart group. There's no baseball playoffs on tonight, so it's really nice to be out working. I'm Trent Johnson, founder, CEO of LiveWeb, and there's no slides here in front of me. Anyways, let's see. This is, LiveWeb's very new, and I actually have some challenges helping people understand what LiveWeb is actually doing. And the challenge is compounded because people think they understand what we're doing. So we describe it as this. We describe what we're working to do for our customers as this, but probably the most effective way I can help share the story with you is to show what we're doing with customers. So I've got a few examples with customers. This is 360 Insights, fabulous Canadian company, 100 million top line revenue, 500 employees, and a global customer base. They have a partner platform. This is LiveWeb on the right-hand side. And what we're doing is putting multi-channel communications directly in between the business and their customers. It's completely nonsensical to me that when you go to a website and you're on a computer in a web browser, which is 100% of the time, whether it's your mobile phone or your desktop computer, if you want to speak to those people, you then have to dial a telephone number or go to a third-party video link. We really have a lot of work to do, integrated communications. So LiveWeb goes straight into a website with a simple JavaScript object and enables businesses to connect with their customers with chat, global stereo voice calls, high definition instant video, or book calendar appointments that fit right into their workflow process. This is what it looks like if I click a button to dial into to connect with 360. But more importantly, some of our more progressive partner customers have recognized what the value might be of integrating live communications into their own product. Because the future of the way we all communicate on the internet is that communications will just be there wherever we need them, whenever we need them. And that's the next 3, 5, 10 years of development of the comms industry. So 360 Insights is working with us to integrate LiveWeb into their partner platform. And if you look on the right of the screen, we'll work together to then distribute services to their global customer base of Fortune 500 enterprise customers. So it was really a fabulous early opportunity for us in the work we're doing. Night before last, I was up all night because LiveWeb was selected as the video Q&A provider for Logitech, the world's greatest video technology company. We did India at 1 a.m., we did Europe at 3 a.m., and we did North America at 11 a.m. yesterday morning. It blew up my servers. We had some horrendous technical challenges, but we're the video Q&A provider for Logitech. This is a very big market. This is a $170 billion global communications market growing at 30% compound annual growth rate. And when you break it down, the current market, the old way of doing things, if we can kind of even refer to Zoom as old, is it's fragmented services. Each of these market leaders are distinct, separate channels the businesses are having to buy from all three of those businesses, and these things don't connect. And the way that impacts businesses is it's manageability, so it's inefficient with fragmented channels. It's difficult to deliver great customer experience, and it really undermines sales opportunities. In fact, if you walk with these with me through these numbers, it takes an average of about 42 hours for businesses to respond to prospects. And the next number is the important one. If you respond within 5 minutes, your odds of making contact with a prospect go up 100x. There aren't many things we can do in business to improve our performance 100 times. And 38% of qualified prospects who come to your website sign up for a form for a business service you never get to talk to at all. Whoops. So we're integrating LiveWeb completely into today's technology stack so that communications are simply there when you need them, as you need them, the channel you need. So you can see what we have done today and what's driving our roadmap from our customers. I'm blessed with a phenomenal co-founder in Novi Sad, Serbia, whom I've worked with for the past decade, Milan Dimitrijevic. Milan has built software used by millions around the world for mobile and voice over IP. Milan worked with me as we created technology that makes voice and video run in 4 billion web browsers. Awesome guy, very talented. I'm continuing my life's work at LiveWeb, where I've been commercializing business communication technologies for longer than I would care to say up here. We're honored and excited to be a Thin Air Labs portfolio company. James Lockery is our lead investor and one of our advisors. And our other advisor is Scott Wharton, who heads up the video division for Logitech. Scott's a global leader in video and a fantastic supporter of LiveWeb. So traction, I've shared with you some of the customer activity we're doing with customers. We're close on paid pilots, close to about an $80,000 annual run rate. Here comes my friend.
We're buddies, Trev. We're buddies. You can keep going. That's a packed pitch, though.
Thanks, buddy.
I have no time for questions. Everyone give it up for Trent with LiveWeb. That was awesome. He's raising. Come find him at the end. If you're a small business owner or business owner, come find him at the end too.
Thank you for that, Trent. Next up, real quick, SpikeFli, Heather Pauls.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Heather Pauls with SpikeFli Analytics. There we go. Myself and my team members have been working together for the last few years to build a expense management platform. We have got some great traction in the telecom and technology space. Some of our clients are actually here tonight. Pant, see you up there. And I'm proud to report that we've got, as we speak, a $53,000 MRR. Our estimated revenue has actually grown since this slide was created, and we're going to be so far coming in at about $945,000 this year. Our clients today are companies, enterprise, and government that have complex technology and telecom needs. They do business in multiple geographies, and they're at the mercy of a multitude of vendors to understand their operational expenses. We provide them one source of truth for all their technology and telecom. What we've learned over the last few years is that most of our clients are having similar struggles in other expense categories, and that they are dependent either on their vendors for the information, and depending on vendors to manage your expenses is never a great place to be. They're depending on their accounting software, which is numbers in and numbers out, or they're using an Excel spreadsheet to understand and manage their vendors, contracts, assets, and people. The struggle is real, and the fact is that they're spending millions of dollars every month and have no real visibility or insight into why they're spending that. We aim to change that. SpikeFli will digitize, centralize, and normalize all of their data from their vendors, couple that with their own internal data, and provide one source of truth as it relates to all operational expenses, eliminating the need for the multitude of vendor portals that they would generally have to access to get the facts that they need, whether that be through their billing or through various reports. As you can see from the various industries, these are as a result on your screen of our clients currently telling us that they want the same level of visibility into a multitude of different expense categories, and they don't have it. I'm happy to say that we've got competitors out there in the marketplace, and I'm also happy to say that they have generated some significant interest from the investment community. One thing that they haven't done is created a DIY technology platform that the end user can instantly gain access to and manage the sales process, the end user journey, as well as the implementation. The average revenue for our clients in the enterprise and government space is anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month. We are here today looking for $500,000 so that we can expand the automation component within our platform, so that we can also expand in the expense categories that we are offering the business community, as well as to professionalize the sales and marketing materials and increase our sales team. We're generating 53,000 MRR, which is lovely. However, there's not a lot left over at the end of the month for expansion, and we're looking for that support. Lots of great things on the go. We are proud to say that we are alumni of the Creative Destruction Lab this past spring. And we've also received support from the National Research Council to help us move towards the goals I just spoke with you about. I'll leave you with this slide, some of our clients and what they have to say about us and why they depend on our platform to make sure that they're never spending more than they need to be. Thanks for Startup TNT for having me out here tonight, and I'm looking forward to talking with you all. Feel free to reach out, and good luck to the rest of the companies.
Awesome. Great pitch, Heather.
Thanks, Andrew.
So probably got time for one quick question.
Okay.
You already asked me to ask you a question. That's how this works. So tell us about your 12-month forecast. Tell us about your 12-month trailing. And what would you like to leave the room tonight with?
I'm always looking for clients, sales. Now that you know that there's an expense management platform out there, go forth and spread the good word, because the fact is that never or being at the mercy of your vendors for the facts to manage your operations is never a great place to be. You will end up spending more than you need to be. And the fact is that the economy is asking us to reduce our costs. So we need to
What a great place to start.
What's that?
What a great place to start.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, everyone, give it up for Heather with SpikeFli. And I think we're going to roll right into the next segment here. Over to Danielle.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Okay, one more round of applause for that last group of founders. Okay, for our next host and questioner, we have Evie, who is one of Startup TNT's best friends forever with BDC. And we also have Mac, who's a longtime investor with Startup TNT. So give a round of applause for them, and that'll be our next group of founders.
Hey everyone, I'm Ibi Lacani. I'm a senior account manager with BDC. For those of you that don't know, BDC is a Crown Corp with the sole mandate of supporting Canadian entrepreneurs. And we do so with our financing, advisory, and venture capital offering. Certainly, if anyone would like to know more about our offerings, I'd be happy to discuss it in greater detail during the intermission. But for the time being, let's get back into it and introduce our next founder. Next up, we've got Rick Hughey from Evora.
You actually said that right. Let's talk about cannabis. So people think about cannabis companies as just growing flowers. That's actually not a big part of what they do. They're a manufacturing company, they're a logistics company, and they're all of that is highly regulated by Health Canada, and big fines, and you can lose your license if you aren't compliant, don't have the right data. The problem today is all the software in the industry is not built for cannabis. It is some other industry where they've tried to smush cannabis into it. They don't have compliance. They don't have any of the security stuff in there. So it causes big problems in the fact that there's no real way of tracking that. It costs tons of money and bad product out the door, which can decrease profitability. Evora is obviously the answer. So we're a custom built solution for the cannabis space that takes into account all the features needed for a cannabis company. A couple of the main ones are the quality management system and the production planning. Most of these companies don't actually know what their cost of goods sold is, what their profit margin is, or how they're even tracking that at all. Another key feature is the fact that we can trace the product from what the customer gets right back to the seeds that are used to grow that plant. Who we are a team with a lot of experience in the software space and the cannabis space, and we're well equipped to manage this project. So where we are today, we've got 10 customers, and our MRR has gone from $1,500 a year ago to almost 20,000 now. So that's a significant growth in the last year. We've got customers who are giving us great reviews, as you can see from their comments. So we know we've got product fit. Now it's a matter of raising some capital and taking this to the world. The market itself is huge. Just in North America, it's a massive market that's available to us. There's tons of states in the US that are coming on board all the time, and other countries like the EU, Germany, South America, Australia that are coming online with licensed cannabis. So our plan is essentially, we've got one of the top 10 Canadian companies that we should have signed in the next month or so. And then after we close the seed round, it's really to focus on US, which will be into next year. And the plan is then for GMP compliance, the same as Pfizer or Moderna would have. And then we can go after the rest of the world. How we're going to do that? Same way we've taken over Canada is the plan. We will local salespeople, but really partners. The cannabis industry is a tightly knit group. So a warm introduction from an industry leader goes a long ways. And that's paying dividends to us now. We spent the first year really focusing on that. So our ask is we're raising up to $1 million, and the plan is that will build out the team and let us go after the rest of the world. We're hoping to have 100 Canadian producers in the next year. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So it's actually a big day in wheat business today. Joe Biden pardoned every possession charge in the States. Little bullish.
Yeah, no, that's great. Actually, the US coming online federally legal is huge for us.
Definitely. So you mentioned that you're sort of lining up one of the biggest producers in Canada right now. I'd imagine they're already using software. Are you guys having success displacing existing software right now?
Yeah, actually, all of our customers have pretty much come from another vendor, and it's really because we cover their whole business end to end. Typically, they're using 3 or 4 systems, Excel spreadsheets, trying to run their business in 10 different solutions.
Yeah. Okay. And I think anyone tracking the weed industry knows that they're not making a lot of money. So time to get a little more efficient. Can you tell me what your sales funnel looks like right now?
Yeah, it's actually been kind of crazy. We are going through it today, and just in qualified leads, we've got about 4.5 million. In demoed leads, we've got about 1.1 million. We can't really keep up. Like this week alone, I've done 5 demos. Next week I got 4. The week after, already there's 6 lined up. It's kind of going crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like great growth, and I hope you can keep it up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next up, we've got John McInnes from Earthware Reusables.
Now button goes up. Thank you.
Oh, you can't see it, can you? Oh, there it is. Looking good. Hi there. My name is John McInnes. I'm founder of Earthware, a return for reuse takeout container service. All of us have felt a little bit of guilt after a takeout meal because of all the garbage and containers that are left over. And also those clamshell containers that we got from the grocery store, we put them in the recycle bin and we think, are those things actually going to get recycled? It's no secret that returnable and reusable, or reusable and returnable containers are better for the environment. Less total greenhouse gas emissions and put the mic closer to my face. Less total greenhouse gas emissions and less solid waste going to landfills. As you can see, governments around the world are starting to ban some single-use items, which is really good news for Earthware because reusable containers are the obvious solution to the problem. We don't need government regulations to make sure that we thrive as Earthware, but as we grow and become more prevalent, we're going to find that governments actually add more restrictions, essentially handing us market share. The reason the governments are getting rid of single-use items is because recycling and composting just isn't working the way that we had hoped, and it's not a sustainable way for the future, for us to move into the future. In just 11 months, Earthware has become a force for garbage reduction here in Calgary. With our ever-growing list of 50 restaurants, hotels, grocery stores, and other partners, we've stopped over 10,000 containers from hitting Calgary landfills. Thank you. Just yesterday, we delivered hundreds of containers to 4 additional Marriott restaurants who will be using those containers exclusively for in-room service. Marriott has told us that they want to help us to expand to cities all over the world. This incredible growth is set to multiply exponentially with a new business model made possible by a new agreement with the Alberta Bottle Depot Association. Earthware partners will add a small deposit to Earthware containers, and consumers can retrieve a portion of that deposit back when they return their Earthware containers with their bottles and cans. For us, this is such a huge step forward because it'll help us to hit our goal and our vision of 1 million containers in circulation by 2025. We're not new to building businesses, as you can tell from our pictures, and maybe me, a little bit older. Over the past 20 years, these amazing folks have helped me to grow, to build, scale, and sell 2 amazing global companies. And we're really excited with Earthware because we get to make a huge impact both environmentally and socially. Your investment today into Earthware will help us to buy containers to meet current demand and also stabilize supply. And also, we're very quickly going to need larger warehouse space and more sophisticated dishwashing equipment. Our companies all started here in Calgary with small steps like this one. I truly believe that the best way to solve the Earth's problems is to be able to make money while doing it. Choose Earthware as your startup TNT investment choice tonight. Help us make a huge impact and also a great return on investment. Thank you very much for your time. There we go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's a company like everyone can get very excited about.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Packaging. There's a lot of people out there. What is the competition like? Who are the competitors, and what are you doing about them?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So I guess the good news is there's no direct competitors in Alberta. Around the world, there's a handful of smaller companies that are trying to do this, but there is no 1,000-pound gorilla in our space, and it really is just starting to grow, and there's so much market share to gain here that we're excited that there are competitors, but we're going to grow this to a platform around the world.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. And with your past experience, I have to imagine you've considered about what might look like? Can you give me an idea of that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Exits are always interesting, and you never know where they're going to happen. I'm not a guy that builds companies to keep forever. I like to build them and sell them. We don't know where that's going to happen, but I can tell you in the past with my previous investors, they've all made at least 45 times their money. So that's the way we're going to do it this time too.
That's an all right return.
Not bad.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we've got Ian Crozier from taistr.
Thank you, Eby. Man, we've got some great companies in this Calgary ecosystem, hey? It's great to see. Okay, we're going to start with a quick poll. Raise your hand if you like to drink alcohol. Whew, okay, good. It's not just me. Right on. Keep your hand up if you like to drink wine. Okay, and keep your hand up again if you've ever bought a bottle of wine before that you did not like. Okay, good. For those of you who didn't raise your hand and put your hand down too early, I'm sure there's other things you lie about as well. So there's a lot of you out there just like me. And if you're like me, you've walked in front of a wall of wine before and thought to yourself, shit, where do I even start? There's so many options. And as a consumer, that's really challenging. We have all of these options available to us, hundreds of bottles on the wall, but where do we choose? And for a retailer, they have a similar problem. They have to select hundreds of bottles to put in their store out of the hundred thousands of available options to them. And so life's too short to drink bad wine. So that's where taistr comes in. So with taistr, we have a two-sided approach. For consumers, we help you match your taste profile to what is inside the wines available on the shelves. We have categorized all of the attributes available so that we can match wine specifically to your taste profile. And for retailers, we do inventory management software. And what does that mean? Well, the retail market is wildly fragmented. So they operate in a silo with little to no information about what's actually happening at scale, from sales analytics as well as trends. So we interconnect those retailers by providing analytics at scale, so that they can, one, know what to buy, know how much to buy, and also, sorry, I'm blanking here, know what to buy and also know when to buy it. There are 44,000 retailers in Canada and US that made over $118 billion in sales last year. Now, that's a lot of booze. And the analytics market is $6 billion and expecting to triple in the next 5 years. And at taistr, we're on a mission to consolidate this fragmented retail market by interconnecting retailers, providing them with predictive analytics and enhanced customer journey. So improving the customer experience. And for all of you who had your hands up to start this, I invite you to now take out your phones, scan this QR code, take our taste profile, and get your own personalized recommendations. Thank you.
Nice pitch.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, so I'm going to get you to elaborate on something. You said you're going to consolidate the market. How do you do that?
So the industry is so fragmented that they literally operate in a silo. The way that we consolidate the market is by interconnecting the retailers through our technology. So they essentially, sorry, I'm getting nervous up on stage here. There's so many people in front of me. So there's very little differentiation when it comes to a retailer. And so by interconnecting the customer experience, as well as all of our, by interconnecting the insights across retailer to retailer. And there's also a ton of great opportunities with purchasing power as well as logistics as well.
Okay, so if I'm getting this right, you would be taking the data from a bunch of different retailers and giving that access to every individual retailer so they can see it
anonymously. Yes, so they have an understanding of what's happening on a macro perspective.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Yeah, all good. And why are you focusing on brick and mortar rather than online?
Well, so even over the last 2 years, when online sales really improved with the pandemic, it still only accounts for 5% of the total market. So brick and mortar, it accounts for 69% of all sales. And so we want to play in the pool where people are actually purchasing their products, not trying to switch consumer behavior. And this is where we find, Vivino, who's the largest wine app in the world, they're online. And I feel like they're really missing the mark by tackling just small percentage of the marketplace compared to where we are.
Yeah, I've used Vivino for years and have often felt like they are missing the mark. Okay, thanks a lot, Ian.
Right on. Thanks, Mac.
All right. So next we've got Daniel Berezin from Cultivatr.
Thanks, EB. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan. I'm the founder of Cultivatr. Cultivatr, I was, going to go completely off book tonight, so forgive me on that. I was talking to a couple people beforehand, and I think the way we always describe our company is we do it a disservice. So we always describe it as an online farmers market. That's our consumer facing side, but really what we're trying to build is a de-risked food system where farmers and consumers can benefit. So I'm going to start with our origin story. So about 5 years ago, my wife and I bought a piece of land in the country. We learned that, and we were shocked to learn from talking to our neighbors who are all farmers and ranchers that they don't actually make any money being farmers and ranchers. And that sort of seemed weird to us because, we all know what we pay for food right now, and it's a very big disconnect. And so that led us into a path of agriculture and how can we make it better? And so that's what we did is we took a deep dive into agriculture. And what we learned was thank you. What we learned is that we have almost $1 trillion food system in North America, but it really doesn't work for the farmers or the consumers. What we learned is there's a lot of waste. Almost 44% of the food that's produced actually gets wasted before it even gets to the consumer. We also learned that farmers have to guess how much food to grow and hope there's a market to sell it to. And we also learned that they hope they're going to get a price that's greater than what it costs them to produce. And so from that, we invented something we called predictive agriculture. And so what predictive agriculture does is we're able to use machine learning based on what customers purchase on our marketplace to be able to help farmers know what to grow. This allows them to grow the right food at the right time, and then we handle the distribution to the customer. So you're always getting the freshest food. How it works is if you work as a customer, place an order on Monday, our farmer will harvest the food on Tuesday, and then we deliver it to you as early as Wednesday. So we can deliver food from the farmer to you in 3 days. The reason it works, the predictive agriculture allows the farmer to know what to grow. He's expecting what our demand is going to be. He also gets to set his own price. And that allows him to actually make money being a farmer. So that's it in a nutshell. So far, this is what we've done since launch. We've done over 2.6 million in sales and over 26,000 orders just in Calgary alone. We've had about a 15,000% growth rate, which is pretty good in consumer. Also leading to that is we have 75% customer retention rate, which is also unheard of in consumer. And other than that, and we've also, probably the biggest thing is we're one of the few companies that have actually figured out how to do it profitably. As you can see, our average gross order income is $22, which is incredibly high for the space. So that's Cultivatr in a nutshell, and I welcome any questions. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do the ask part, and I guess I have 2 asks tonight. I always forget to ask for money. Got to work on that problem. So we're looking to raise $250,000 and Sorry, we did have a slide in here. Here it is. And then my other ask is, you know, if everybody can go and place an order tonight. There's 200 people here, so 200 orders would be wonderful. And we'll even give you $10 off your first order. So.
Hey, Dan, great job. And first thing I want to say is I envy you, like moving out to Pincher Creek, having your own land. That's sort of a dream of mine. I want to bring up sort of the elephant in the room, which is Instacart. What can you tell me about the competitors in the space?
Yeah, I think obviously Instacart is a huge player in grocery delivery and sort of in a marketplace. But what really makes us different, what creates value, is the fact that we're trying to help the farmer sell food. So it's from the earliest stages. So rather than being, you know, yeah, we deliver food, but we're not a delivery company. You know, we're really focused on building that supply and demand and matching that and creating that valuable for the consumer, the farmer. And that's also our defensible moat, so that, you know, Instacart can be replaced easily. If you know, you're seeing that happen. Where with us, we work with the producer on the supply chain from the earliest stages.
Okay, very cool. And then I guess what does this business look like in a post-COVID world?
Yeah, COVID helped us. We launched literally 2 months before COVID happened. And so, you know, we went from doing 30 orders our first month, 6 orders our next month, to 1,800 the third month. I was the only employee of the company, so in a matter of time, we built it. We actually had to turn off our marketing for the longest time, just to be able to keep up with demand and build the infrastructure. So I kind of look forward to a post-COVID world, hopefully a little slowdown, maybe more reasonable growth of a couple 100% a year. We actually, you know, COVID grocery delivery didn't go away. And again, because we're not trying to solve the delivery problem, we're trying to solve the problem for the farmer, and that hasn't gone away.
Okay, awesome. I think that's our time. So thank you very much.
All right, Calgary, that was 12 pitches, all from the Calgary area. How's everybody feeling? Yeah, we got 8 more to go. You guys have been super patient, super kind, super supportive. We are going to take a 5-minute intermission here shortly. I got a couple little bits and pieces that I want to talk about before we get everybody out to the loo or the bar. First of all, as some of you may have noticed, if people are even talking at a moderate level downstairs, it's really distracting and carries up here. So please, we're going to try to encourage nobody to be hanging out down there. Everybody can come upstairs. Let's make sure that the founders can concentrate on their pitches and have some fun. Beer donations. We got a few amazing people that have submitted beer donations to cheers@startuptn.com if you're interested. Adrian Mitchell, our newest recruit here. The guys from Graphite Ventures in Toronto are here, and they submitted some to the bar tab. And Raheem Natha, I don't know where you are, but he also submitted some money to the bar tab too. So thank you all, and you guys can go have a drink on them. Also, after the intermission break here, during the intermission break here, we got Chaz from Be the Change here, who's going to come and talk about a really cool organization here in Calgary supporting the homeless. So do you have anything that I missed there, Danielle?
Yeah, I'm going to be the bad cop. So if you're downstairs talking, all of those people, I see you. We're rounding everyone up, and everyone's going to be upstairs for the pitches after, just so we can respect the founders. I think it's important, right? Everyone.
Absolutely.
So I will be the bad cop, and I'm really excited. But with that, I'll hand it over to Chaz, and everyone enjoy the intermission break.
You bet. Thank you all.
Hey, well, thank you, first of all, for having me here. I really appreciate the last minute kind of fit in here. Just a little background. My name is Chaz Smith. I'm the CEO and founder of Be the Change YYC. We're a homeless outreach program here in the Calgary area. Last year, we served almost 17,000 individual contacts experiencing homelessness. We offered 13% of those individuals program referrals to housing, detox, mental health supports to ultimately end the cycle of homelessness. Part of the passion of this program is that I too experienced homelessness for 3 years. And so when I started this program just over 7 years ago, it was from that place of passion in my heart to truly serve, to help folks, enable them to get back into society and become activated with their potential through housing. Recently, we had a problem at our headquarters, just a few buildings over. We had infrastructure damage that was done through some garbage and recycling bins that were smashed very nicely into the back of our building and broke holes in. So we handed out over almost 100,000 food and drink items last year at Be the Change to people that were hungry and thirsty walking the streets of the core. As I'm sure you've seen, mice got in and they destroyed almost everything that we had within the few weeks that we noticed the problem. We're still waiting for the concrete company to come and fill the holes that were damaged because it was of no fault of our own. We, of course, always store things as AHS protocols and all that. But as a 90% volunteer run program, we have 65 volunteer active outreach workers, and they're doctors, they're nurses, they're paramedics, they're firefighters. And in order to support the folks living outside, to continue serving them, to end the cycle of homelessness, we really need the support of community. We rely off of community and private donations to continue running our program. So in these times of need where our program has been devastated, we've lost hundreds of jackets, mitts, toques, gloves, and almost all of our food items. You can truly join us and be the change and help us by donating some of these items to us. Or you can visit our website if you have that ability to monetarily donate. It's BeTheChange.YYC.org. So thank you all so much for your time, and hopefully you join us and be part of the change here in Calgary.
I'll take it from you, but go to. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? I don't know why I'm on the mic right now, but fine. You look like, yeah, everyone, you're on the KTM. But they really do need to make sure everyone comes up and it's such a fun competition. Goodlawyer is presenting next, and that's going to be real rough on that. Josh is presenting, it's not the
Test. All right. All right, everybody. Okay, let's all take our seats. We got 8 more amazing Calgary pitches coming up here tonight. You guys have all been super patient. We have actually shut the bar down for a short while to make sure people are congregating down there. And we're going to rock this last 45 minutes out and get to networking. Hey, Andrew, could you cut the music for a sec? All right, everybody, we are ready to go. Man, a lot of excited faces here. Okay, we got 8 more pitches left. Next up is our friends from RBCX. We got Rahan coming up to co-host. And here's an interesting fact about Rahan. Apparently, he shares a birthday with who I'm told is a famous wrestler, Rikishi. If there's any wrestling fans, he shares a birthday with him. That was the interesting fact that Rahan shared with me. And then doing the Q&A for this portion is Kyle Kanofsky. He's an ambassador with Startup TNT, longtime investor. He works at Peer Guidance. He does a ton of cool stuff in the community with that organization. And with that, I'll let you take it away, Rahan.
Thanks, Neil. Hey, everyone. What a amazing night. Like so much just movement in this room and so much hope. So with that, let's get started again after this break. So my name is Rahan. I'm a VP with RBCX here in Calgary. For those that don't know, RBCX is a full service banking partner for tech companies exclusively. We work with companies right from seed stage to IPO and beyond. And mainly in the tech sector, so working with software, hardware, life sciences, clean tech, ag tech, fintech, so all sorts of clients. So with that, if you guys need any more information, just feel free to find me in the crowd. Our next presenter is Sean Herbo with PrePad. I'll pass it over to you.
And it's the down button, right, Neil? Yeah. Okay, perfect. I don't want to go too soon, then I'm going to get stuck on the slide. So. We're good? Okay, thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. Sorry about the glitch there to start. My name is Sean Herbo, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of PrePad. I first became passionate about what PrePad can do back in 2017 when I was working in an optimization role for Shell's leadership team down in Houston. And I worked for Shell for over 11 years, and I decided to take a voluntary severance to pursue building this company and this product with my co-founder and ex-Shell employee, Brandon Eidson. Now, many of you are probably familiar with Formula One. And if you're not, you're probably familiar that, or you probably know that every second matters in this sport. And before this race car ever hits the track, teams spend countless hours optimizing the actual car and the strategy of the race using simulation software. That's what PrePad does for the oil and gas business. Instead of optimizing for minutes, we optimize for dollars. Now, what's the problem? The problem is that there is no simulation software for the drilling and completions market. This means that oil and gas operators must spend a significant amount of time and resources trying to optimize using Excel spreadsheets and custom models. Or they simply do what they've always been doing time and time again and leave significant value on the table. PrePad is the solution. Unlike Excel spreadsheets and custom models, PrePad allows oil and gas operators to replicate in minutes what used to take multiple employees several weeks or even months to do. Simply put, PrePad is better than Excel, does more than Excel, faster than Excel. Now I want to talk about our first paid pilot customer. We recently finished this pilot and we were able to deliver over $500,000 of value per well by discovering non-intuitive insights that they admitted they would never been able to do without the use of this software. Now, in terms of the market size and how we're going to make money out of this business, I want to focus on the next kind of 12 to 18 months and the pool of innovators. We're going to attract these, we're going to capture these innovators, and we're already successfully doing so through our product demonstrations and pilot projects. And taking a conservative value of $150,000 per year per customer, that means we can generate almost $2 million of annual recurring revenue before year end 2023. And I might add that our second paid pilot is exactly $150,000 for a 2-month scope of work. Now, both my business partner and I spent over 2 years at Shell developing the minimum viable product for PrePad. After that, we then got a waiver and release from Shell to take this product commercial and give us the freedom to do so. We're super excited to talk about our traction to date. We've just finished our first paid pilot with Artis Exploration, signed a contract with Shell, and kicked off the work just yesterday. Now, in terms of how we actually want to, when it comes to our raise, we're looking to raise $1 million in the form of a post-money safe to generate $4 million of annual recurring revenue before year end 2024. Thank you for your time.
Great pitch. Great pitch.
Thank you.
Maybe if you could just expand on your sales strategy, since you're trying to achieve these growth numbers. How do you go about doing that? The oil and gas industry is, has a very heavy stack of paperwork with pitches and technologies they could potentially integrate. How do you set yourselves apart?
I'd say that's kind of our competitive advantage with spending 11 years deep in this industry. What we're doing right now is we're dealing with companies that we can deal directly with the decision makers, and that's how we've gotten our first couple pilots. We wouldn't normally go after a big fish like Shell, but I had some good connections there, so we were able to lock them down and then another company. And we're doing that with our paid pilots, and then we're going to move into the software as a service implementation.
Excellent. Do you want to talk a little bit about the competitive landscape out there? There's companies like Coldboard Energy and others. I'm actually an investor in Coldboard, but so
awesome.
Don't badmouth them too much. But great company. But there's a lot of room for this data consolidation, operational efficiency, kind of around data. And so, how do you kind of play in that sandbox?
Yeah, I like that you also know the industry. So Coldboard is more of a real-time, not data visualization, but they are complementary to us. So if you could imagine with what our software does, Coldboard could kind of be the autocomplete button. There's a lot of inputs that the engineers need to input into our software. We've already working with Coldboard. I'm talking to Brett, the CEO there. And then there's also other complementary software, mainly the most legacy software in this industry is in the subsurface space. What's downhole? How do we get the most out of the ground? What's lacking? And there really isn't any direct competitors in our space. The only competitor in our space is really in the scheduling software, and that's not our bread and butter.
Great, thanks. Give it up, PrePad.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sean. Next up, we have Shabab Saad from CarboMat. Shabab, here you go.
Showing everything, right? Good evening, everyone. I am Shabab Saad, the co-founder and CEO of CarboMat. Today, I'm here to present a business opportunity to develop high-value carbon fibers from low-value asphaltenes, which has a revenue growth opportunity of multi-billion dollars in the next 10 years. Just wanted to show you a small package that I have. We can chat about it later. Raise your hand if you have predicted climate change and global warming. With over 5,000 million tons of carbon emissions in North America over the past decade, I want to shift the focus to Canada, where oil sands industries over here are contributing to at least 5 to 10% of these carbon emissions through different various oil sands processing techniques. So this brings us to our problem today, where oil sands industries are generating massive amounts of low value and waste byproducts known as asphaltenes. Large volumes of asphaltenes are deposited in the 1.18 trillion liters of Alberta oil sands tailing ponds. And interestingly, none of these asphaltenes have any direct market value, except some combustion applications. So that is where CarboMat comes in, where we take and develop non-combustible applications of low-value asphaltenes and transform them to high-value materials like carbon fibers. Our low-cost carbon fibers would be competitive to the expensive and incumbent carbon fibers that are commercially available in the market. And moreover, this would open multiple doors to widespread applications of carbon fibers in multiple industries, such as composites, aerospace, sports, energy, and so on. The competitive advantages of our technology include, first, a 60% reduction in carbon fiber production cost. Second, a 50% reduction in carbon emissions compared to the commercial carbon fiber production process. Third, a technology that is suitable for adoption in existing carbon fiber manufacturing plants. And fourth, most importantly, cutting down 65 million tons of carbon emissions every year. In terms of the market of the $36 billion plus carbon fiber industry, we are targeting the $20 billion carbon fiber composites market, which consists of automotive, aerospace, wind turbine construction, you can name it. Our traction so far includes $1 million of non-dilutive funding, a $250,000 of seed funding, developing relationships with supply chain actors, IP protection, and developing a small-scale fiber spinning facility here in Alberta. At this moment, CarboMat is raising at least $1 million by mid-next year, which will immensely help scale up our technology, with a strong focus to start pilot testing by 2024 and market entry by 2025. Through our technology, all of us can reach the net zero future with no delay by 2050. So please join me and help Alberta rise, valorize, and decarbonize, and let me be the change for you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thanks, Scott.
Great pitch. Maybe just a chance to just expand a little bit on the use of proceeds. So the $1 million, go a long way to helping you scale. So where are you now? You talked a little bit about it, so maybe expand a little bit on that, and then expand on what the million's for.
Great question. So right now we're spinning in gram scale. So we are pre-revenue right now. So the target right now is to scale it up to 1 kilograms per day. And once we have 1 kilograms per day of fiber spinning, we have talked to multiple end users who are ready to build a prototype out of it. So we do have our own prototypes over here. This is a 3D printed composite structure made from waste material derived carbon fibers. But yes, once we bump up to that a kilogram per day, we are ready for direct applications.
Okay, awesome. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, we're done. Awesome. Give it up.
Thank you.
Awesome pitch again. Thank you. Next up, we have Jamie Wood from Fanoramas.
Thank you. Oh yeah, down button. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Wood, co-founder of Fanoramas. We are building a fan data platform in sports and entertainment to help teams and leagues monetize and engage their fans. We do this through fan photography. You can think of us like the roller coaster picture that you get at the theme park, but scale that to an entire venue, shots of every fan, all delivered in real time. The problem here is that teams and leagues don't actually own the information on their audience. And so engaging and monetizing that audience is next to impossible. In a personalized way, that is. So the solution is Fanoramas. Provide fans epic content in exchange for their data. These images solidify memories, build the next fan base, and give teams and leagues the content and the data they require to engage those fans. We've tested our platform with over 1,000 different users in Canada, the US, and Europe. And what we found is that we've built a sticky platform that fans love. Most notably is that fans will spend over 30 minutes with us looking at every single photo we send them during game time. We believe we can generate $1 per seat per game and deliver the 5 times ROI back to the clubs, which is the industry benchmark. And now is the right time. Sports tech industry is growing rapidly and customers want it. Teams, leagues, and their other rights holders are asking for digital fan engagement and data-driven solutions. With deep roots in the sports sector, Athletes Unlimited and Underdog Ventures are helping us access the market. We'll be producing 2 full seasons in women's sports with AU next year, and Underdog is helping us identify additional customers in the market in the US. We're currently part of Hype Sports Tech Accelerator, as well as been shortlisted for Comcast. And in the pipeline, we have proposals in with AEG and Legends, who both own hundreds of venues globally, as well as the Orlando Magic, the WNBA, and just yesterday morning, we pitched AEG, we pitched the O2 Arena. Woohoo! Our team is a passionate group of sports fans. We have over 40 years combined digital strategy, software solution delivery expertise, as well as 30 years of photography expertise. The ultimate goal for us is to grow our revenue to over 2 million ARR and onboard the next 3 venues. And my ask for the crowd here is, now I hear that there's a fire sale on sponsoring hockey right now, but I would invite you to look at women's sports and sponsor basketball or volleyball with us. If you want to, if you'd like to get into the US or know contacts in the US interested in those sports, please come and see me after. Thanks very much.
Hi, Jamie. How are you? Good to see you again.
Kyle, nice to see you.
Good to see you. Great to see the update. Looks like you guys are making some fantastic progress. Maybe just elaborate a little bit on the monetization potential of this visual data that you're collecting, these images. You said $1 per seat. What's involved in that? Kind of maybe just some layering there.
Yeah, sure. So we see it as a market, and I can flip back there for you if you like. Yeah, we see this as a market. So there's actually all kinds of ways we can monetize the platform. So there's an activation fee to set up our system. And we see that as either being added to the ticket price or it can come from other funders. For example, we can run it as a sponsorship activation. The media value alone in what we're delivering is already far beyond 5x for the dollar per seat. So there's digital media, data, the opportunity to sponsor, as well as running custom campaigns in the platform.
Awesome. Maybe one more quick question. On the strategic partnership side, I mean, it seems that you guys are, really building a platform around accessing visual data. Are there plans to integrate into other kind of sports data platforms that can help you scale?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Strategic partnerships in the data area are going to be critical for us. We actually have multiple levels of data. So yes, visual data, we can capture on the entire venue, but then we also have other data from our in-app engagements, as well as any campaigns that we're running in there. And our data is all consent-based, explicit consent-based and opt-in. So we'll need to partner with someone in terms of data delivery.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Give it up, Fanoramas.
Thanks.
I don't know if anyone has seen some folks wearing green shirts in the crowd today, but next up, Josh Weinberger, I'll let you take it away for Goodlawyer.
Okay, lovely. Thank you for the warm welcome, everybody. My name is Josh. I am the COO at Goodlawyer. Goodlawyer is where founders go for specialized legal expertise at prices they can trust. Our ambition at Goodlawyer is to build the law firm of the future in much the same way Airbnb built the hotel chain of the future. The world needs Goodlawyer because the dominant model for legal service delivery is broken. Due to the failure of my profession to embrace technology and innovation, founders, like many of you in the room, are left with two totally inadequate options for dealing with your legal operations and affairs. Spend exorbitant amounts of money on fees with traditional law firms, or risk it all with sketchy templates, do-it-yourself solutions, and advice from a friend of a friend. Goodlawyer beats law firms and templates because we are purpose-built to serve founders. And that makes us better, faster, and cheaper than these alternatives. We are better because we match you with the right lawyer for your specialized area of legal need. We're faster because we are digital first and available on demand. And we're cheaper because we use technology and process to cut legal bills in half. From MVP to Series B, we are founders' trusted advisors for all their legal needs. But you don't have to take my word for it. We have helped thousands of founders from right across Canada, including many startups that are a part of this TNT community here tonight. So please, I invite you to ask around. Obviously, startup founders are excited by what we're building with Goodlawyer. Oh, none of those buttons worked. Okay. This slide right here. It's not the red button for the next guys up, it's the arrow. Okay, this slide right here is for the investors in the audience. Our team has the ambition, the commitment, and the discipline to build a $1 billion company. On our journey to the top, we plan to continue to expand our total addressable market by continuing to support and unlock latent demand. We will earn subscription revenue from scale-ups and mature companies by offering our fractional general counsel subscription offering. We will add additional sources and verticals of revenue by integrating partner and affiliate solutions and products directly into our offering. And we will fundamentally change the way legal services are bought, sold, and delivered as we expand around the globe. So if you're interested in learning more about the Goodlawyer growth plan, or you just want some help with your legal needs, I invite you to scan the code behind me here today to book a meeting with me. I would love to speak with you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And by the way, it didn't matter about the slides. Everyone was dialed into you, I think, so it was all good. Everyone was focused. Just on the scaling side. So, you know, I come from a sales background, so maybe there's been some repetitive kind of scaling sales questions, but I think important to understand maybe what your customer acquisition strategies are now, how that's impacting growth, and then how you can accelerate that. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Definitely. I can speak to, I think, 3 components that are a part of that. One is product-led growth and marketing, which will be and is happening today through our marketplace solution. A next piece for growth and sales opportunities is the embedded products and affiliate partner solutions that I described. We have a really unique opportunity by winning trust with our customers at early stages in their business and taking over what I think is one of kind of the most sensitive and direct relationships that founders have with any service provider. And by winning that trust and that credibility early on, that gives us the opportunity to make sales and introductions through all of the other component pieces that we know that are related to growing and building a business, like insurance, like banking, and on and on. The final piece is our move up market with our fractional general counsel product, which is very much sales-led growth, high ticket item, dollar value services that does in fact warrant a sales staff to go out and hunt customers and deliver the solution.
Excellent. That's it. All right, give it up. Goodlawyer.
All right, everyone. One last block of companies. You guys are doing so much better this time around. Thank you guys so much. All right. So for our last co-host, last but not least, we have Kevin with Plug and Play. And we also have Zane, who's one of our TNT. I say one of our, even though I'm with a 51. I feel like one of us, one of our startup TNT investors. And a fun fact about Kevin, if you didn't know this, is actually in 1998, he was the extreme iron champion of Saskatoon. That's right, extreme ironing. So if you need anything ironed, this guy is starting a new business. All right, over to Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you. And so that's what happens when a host asks you to share a fun fact and you don't share one. They make something like that up. Anyways, I know we're running behind schedule, so I want to keep my introduction brief. I'm Kevin Dahl with Plug and Play Alberta. Over the last 16 years, Plug and Play has built what the market refers to as the ultimate innovation platform. And we're referred as that because of the way we work with corporate partners, helping connect them with startups around the world. So here in Alberta, we launched the office about 10 months ago now. And we're really excited because our platform here in Alberta, I think, is really starting to make a splash. So first and foremost, we are an investor. We write on average about 200 to 250 checks a year at the pre-seed and seed stage. The next pillar in our platform is really focused around our accelerator programming. So we run 3 programs here in Alberta, one focused on digital health, one focused on clean resources and sustainability, and one that's focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning across all different sectors. And the third part of what we do is really engaging those corporates. So we work with large established enterprises who are looking to work more, higher volume and more efficiently working with startups. We help make those connections, make those introductions, and help some of the companies you're hearing here tonight get pilots and proof of concepts with those big international clients. So that's enough about me. I would like to introduce The first of the last block here tonight, there's 4 more pitches you're going to hear. And I'd like to hand the mic over to Andrew with Vortis.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Wow. What a great evening. We had so many great startups tonight. Before I jump into it, I just want to say a big thank you to Startup TNT. They put on a great evening, great community. Really appreciate the invite to come out and pitch this evening. So to dive right into it, carbon capture. It can play a significant role in achieving our pathway to net zero. But here's the problem. Carbon capture, it's expensive. Whether you're pulling it from the air or whether you're pulling it from a point source, it costs on average hundreds of dollars to capture carbon. And the problem really boils down to this. It requires a lot of energy to go capture this carbon. And energy in today's world means cost, but it also means emission. So a lot of this capture technology is not only costly, but it's very inefficient. And here at Vortis, we've been working very hard to develop a simple and affordable ways to capture, convert, and market carbon emissions. We've developed a completely novel way to capture CO2. It's called carbon separation by motion. It's based on our spinning disk separator. We call it the SDS for short, but it essentially uses motion and vortex separation to separate CO2 based on its molecular weight. And what this means is we can significantly reduce the energy required to remove carbon. And this translates not into significant cost reductions, but also significant improvements in the capture efficiency when compared to traditional capture technologies like amines. We just wrapped up a 3-year analytical study at the University of British Columbia's Clean Energy Research Center, where we kind of demonstrated the underlying separation principles. And over the next 18 months, we'll be designing, building, and optimizing our proof of concept and preparing to get into field trials. In terms of scale up, we have an aggressive but reasonable trajectory to get to commercial deployment. So over the next 24 months, we're going to be building and optimizing our laboratory prototypes with the goal of getting into a commercial demo by 2025, where we'll be working with select industry partners in the oil and gas industry to go deploy this commercial demo here in Alberta. Where we're focusing on the technology today is point source emissions. We've been getting a lot of really great positive customer traction in the oil and gas industry, such as like oil production and refining, natural gas processing, also cement, steel, and hydrogen production as well. But where we see a lot of opportunities is really applying this technology to direct air capture. So that's really pulling carbon directly from the air. Now, I talked a lot about with the technology. I want to hit on a few points on the business side. And an important distinction I want to make is that we're not a carbon capture company. We're a carbon management company. We're building a platform to enable emitters to mitigate and monetize their carbon emissions. And it begins with simple, affordable ways to capture that carbon. After we capture it, we're developing ways to take that carbon and convert it into high-value, low-carbon products such as plastics, fuels, and cement. And we're also developing a digital marketplace where we can start to connect buyers and emitters together so they can transact on things like carbon offsets and credits. In terms of our development partners, we have a great ecosystem of public and private partners that are helping us accelerate our development. We're also building a great team. We have leading researchers from some of Canada's top research institutions. And we're currently going out this quarter and raising our first round, a seed round, $1 million. We're looking for strategic investors that can help us accelerate our growth and development. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks.
So, great presentation, first of all. The question of what you was wondering if you could like expand on the what would you do with the money that we give to you? Like, what's your game plan for that?
Use of proceeds?
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
So just going back here, 40%, we're putting it into a prototype. The 35% of it's going into engineering expansion, especially in the mechanical side. 25%, it's into more general working capital. It's not to pay my salary. It's really into accounting. We're going to be filing another 2 patents on the existing 5 we already have, as well as just general legal, accounting, so forth.
I think that's perfect. I think that's all the time you got right now. Thank you, Andrew.
All right. Thanks, Hank.
All right, moving right along. Next up, we have Ken with Parasol Lab. Over to you, Ken.
Thank you.
Like on your lip.
Okay. Hey, everyone. My name is Ken. I'm co-founder and CEO of Parasol Lab. Okay. Okay. In modern life, we are buying more and more high-value electronic devices, such as scooters, bicycles, increasing the importance of finding lost items. Not to mention the demand to keep track of our pets, parcel, or vehicles. Therefore, the whole tracking market is doubling year over year, reaching 10 billion by 2028. Yet, there are so many tracking devices out there in the market, but these products are pricey, have short battery life, and also have a fee of more than $10 per month per device. We are here to change the game. We have two essential products in our system. Firstly, the network. Imagine if you can own a part of a network, like on a vending machine, and every month you can earn a passive income by providing the connection to the nearby devices. Would you like to be a part of it? Yep, this is what we're building. Parasol Network, a wireless IoT decentralized network, which is provided and powered by individuals. And the first product that is using our network is Parasol Tracker. This little tracker, the users, they don't need to pay a monthly fee to use it. And also we provide a customized solution to enterprises. They only have to pay $1 per month per device. So who needs it? Sharing economy, city government, transportation companies, and individuals. And that is not our imagination, because we are partnering with P2P shipping company, a fleet management company, and also we are talking to Chit-Chat and some other logistics companies in Canada regarding our tracking solutions. We have a great team. Our team members are having years of experiences in different fields. IoT, sales, blockchain. Especially, Jim and I were co-founded a food delivery company in Calgary, and it's been acquired by DoorDash in 2018. And we are not alone. We are advised by experienced experts from the world. Now, we are raising $500,000 pre-seed. All of our pre-seed investors will receive tokens as a grant. And also, they'll be the first person to try out our product and test the network. If you are the person who is looking for a revolutionary product in Canada, why not join us and let's build it together? Thank you.
Great pitch, Ken.
Thanks.
So a couple of questions for you. The first question is, what do you define as your company moat?
What do you mean by that?
Like in the future, how do you outcompete the competition while also ensuring profitability and increased revenue?
Well, I think the community is a core, the core product for all of the Web3 companies, right? So for all of the participants, when they build this network, when they participate in this network, then they will be sharing the revenues and they will be our influencers and also ambassadors of this network, right? When you use Apple network or use Apple products, they won't pay you anything. But when you use our network, use our products, you will share the revenue that you will get paid by participating in this project, right? So that's all about the Web3 projects, the community, the participants.
Thanks, Ken. And the second question is, the coin that you're talking about in the presentation, would this be like a limited supply coin, or would you continue issuing more shares as you get more funding?
It'll be limited. Okay. Yeah, so it'll have it has daily limitation to mine the tokens, and also the total supply is limited as well.
Great. Thanks, Ken. Let's give it up for Ken.
Thank you.
All right. How many of you had a summer activity ruined by wildfire smoke this summer? Anyone? All right. Well, our next presenter's got a solution that's going to help us with that. So next up, Stephen with 4Pi Labs.
Great, thanks. Don't need this. Hi, my name's Stephen Achal. I'm the CEO and co-founder of 4Pi Lab. I'm a world expert in remote sensing and a super nerd. Having spent the last 30 years designing and selling tens of millions of dollars of my patented and state-of-the-art Earth observation systems. 4Pi Lab's other awesome co-founders, like Claire Dixon, also have impeccable track records for bringing audacious concepts to reality and commercial success. We at 4Pi Lab think that climate change really sucks. So we're developing space-based solutions and technologies to help curb the effects of climate change. And one of our first tasks is to dramatically reduce the number of catastrophic wildfires globally by designing a space-based system to detect extremely small wildfires in real time. Currently, wildfires contribute about 5% of total global GHG emissions, cost billions to suppress, and cause billions in infrastructure damages. All of this will continue to get worse, contributing to a negative cycle of climate change as our precious forests are destroyed. 4Pi Lab's space-based solutions are the perfect combination of resolution, timeliness, and global coverage. This will break that cycle by providing real-time actionable data to first responders to stop potentially catastrophic wildfires. We're taking a unique and very powerful approach to real-time detecting with almost zero false positives, wildfires as small as 5 meters in diameter from space. Our technologies have been developed and vetted via grants from the Canadian Space Agency and support from Defence Research Development Canada. Basically, our solutions are space ready. But how will we make money? Well, we'll have 3 main revenue streams: real-time wildfire alerts, very high resolution firefront mapping, and voluntary carbon credits. All of this is a little more than a $3 billion opportunity with the potential to reduce global GHG emissions by a massive 4.5%. We are currently raising a pre-seed round of $2 million in a convertible note, and this is led by the awesome Boston-based Azola Ventures, who's already putting in $1 million. We are looking for passionate and forward-thinking investors who want to move the needle in climate change and who would share our vision to positively impact billions of people by dramatically reducing the number of catastrophic wildfires in less than 5 years. We hope you will join our journey to use space as a powerful tool to slow climate change. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. So good pitch, first of all, and a couple of questions for you. The first one, has the potassium imaging software or like technology been proven in real life right now?
Yes.
Like how big of a scale would that have been proven on? Like how big of a scale, like what's like the pilot project that you guys have created for that?
So the pilot project was funded by the Canadian Space Agency, and that was about $330,000. And so we developed the potassium imaging prototype. And just to back up here, so potassium imaging is a brand new concept for detecting wildfires. And all vegetation contains a trace amount of potassium. And when this potassium gets above 400 degrees centigrade, it emits a very bright and distinct spectral signature that's invisible to us, but it sticks out like a sore thumb to our cameras. And it's about 10 times brighter than the visible flame. And this is easily detectable from space.
Thank you. And the second one, what's your exit strategy for the company?
That's a good question. So for most of our investors, we're looking at exiting at Series B. And so that's the exit strategy. And so the exit strategy will probably happen when we get a full constellation of 16 satellites up.
Sounds good. Let's give it up for Steven, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, I guess that brings us to our last presenting company tonight. So I've got to give a shout out to the organizers, because if you're going to make someone go last, you should probably pick someone with cool props. And so Dennis is coming up next with Easy Robot. And as you can see, he's got a robot in his hands. So give it up for Dennis.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. What if you woke up tomorrow and found that your job had been eliminated, replaced by a robot or AI or automation? It may sound hard to believe, but the forecasts show that that's the exact future that 20 to 47% of us will experience over the next 10 years. The changes these technologies will bring are going to be so pervasive that the World Economic Forum is forecasting that 1 billion people will need retraining by 2030, just 8 years from today. In response to this paradigm shift in the workforce, educators are pivoting to try to get more children interested in learning robotics education. But the unfortunate reality is the way that it's being taught, nobody's interested in learning it. Right? It's a really tough situation here. Oh, 1 second, that's the arrow I need. Okay. So enrollment levels today at the middle school level or junior high level, 10% of students. At the high school level, even worse, 3% of boys, 0.3% of girls. Now imagine, we're in the midst of the largest workforce transition in the history of man. And in a school with 2,000 students, 30 boys and 3 girls are getting this education. It's truly a crisis. But fortunately, there is a solution. Schools that have implemented Easy Robot into their robotics and computer science programs have seen enrollment increase by tenfold. When we think of the changes that are coming, those statistics are a solution. So how do we do it? Well, we do it with this little fella right here. And I'll just show you a little quick demo here. JD, 1 second. JD's anxious to perform. We'll try again. 1 second. All right. Pull this up here. JD, show me how strong you are. Right? And that's the same response we get from children. See, Easy Robots are so powerful that elementary children can program advanced robotic features like speech recognition, vision tracking, and AI. While our advanced users are building robots like the one that's up there in the corner, that life-sized humanoid robot, snow shoveling robots, submarine robots. Easy Robot is a game-changing technology in STEM education. The educational robotics market is currently valued at 1.1 billion, forecast to grow at 20% per year for the next 6 years, reaching 3.2 billion in 2028. Easy Robot is forecasting growth that far exceeds that. We were revenue positive in 2019. COVID came. We'll be revenue positive again in 3 months. We have users in 170 countries. We're raising $1.2 million in exchange for 14% of the company. We have about 250,000 committed so far. And we're going to be using that revenue to accelerate our business development and marketing, building our global network of resellers. Anybody that is interested in learning more, I'd be happy to hear from you. You can reach me at invest@easy-robot.com. And I hope you'll join us on our journey to change the lives and the futures of millions of children around the world. Thank you.
Perfect, Dennis. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the question I had for you, who are your competitors right now?
Who are our competitors? Okay,
Yeah.
so our product is much easier to use and much more powerful than the companies that I'll mention. But our competitors are Lego and Vex. Right now, they own the marketplace. But I was a reseller for 6 years before I became CEO of this company in 2019. And as a reseller, I went almost 2 years without losing a single sale to either of those two companies. So we've got a mature product We got a great marketing pitch. We know how to sell it. We just now need to scale.
Thank you. And the second question, so is this technology built in Canada right now? Is it all, everyone's based in-house, like in-house right now?
Yeah, the product is developed in Canada.
Yeah.
It's manufactured currently in China for cost reasons.
Yeah.
But the technology is Canadian.
Okay, and like the warranty, when someone buys that, would be like a 2-year warranty?
Well, we give a 6-month warranty.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's moving parts there and stuff. But we've got customers that have been using the robots for 10 years, right? And one of the interesting things that happens is, for schools, budgets are always very tight. So they need a product that's got longevity. And with every other product out there, you buy the product and it peaks on that first day. Then they want you to buy another product in 3 years. Our users that bought this product 10 years ago didn't know that you were going to be able to program it with a mobile phone. And then all of a sudden you could. They didn't know you were going to be able to hook up to Microsoft's AI. And then all of a sudden you could. Right? The people that bought this robot 10 years ago have a better product today than when they have bought it.
Sounds good, Dennis. Thank you. Let's give it up for Dennis, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Calgary. How was that? That's 20 pitches. All in our own backyard, ranging from legal to robots to straight up SaaS companies, deep tech, clean tech. I told you at the beginning, all the techs are being developed here in Calgary. So that's the end of our night here tonight. That was fantastic. This really reaffirms my belief in community, looking at all the amazing people that are here, all the time that you spent sitting in these chairs or in these benches for the last 2.5 hours. It's really amazing. It's great for the founders to see your smiling faces while they're pitching. A lot of them are really nervous and you guys are incredibly supportive. So thank everybody here in the room, first of all. I want to give one thank to our tech team. There's a few folks like Andrew up there. There's Lorraine, there's Kathleen and Amanda. They can't hear me because they're all down there, but they did an amazing job behind the scenes. I also want to give big thank you to Danielle. She's been an amazing co-host. She's doing amazing work in the community. We got tons of stuff to be grateful for. So thank you.
Awesome. And a couple more people to thank. We want to thank all of our co-hosts. We want to thank all of our questionnaires. And then we also want to thank you, the community. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out to an event like this. And so getting to the fun stuff, we're reopening the bar. I know everyone's so excited. We've also ordered some pizza and it's on the way. And the after party is going to be at James Joyce starting at 9. And so I picked a really bad month to do sober October. That's for sure. So yeah, join us at James Joyce and have a great evening, everyone. Thank you
all.